All right. Well, apologies there. We had a bit of a technical difficulty that we got sorted out here. You guys didn't miss very much. Still 22 laps to go. Everybody's got their pit stops done, and Adrian Schumacher still out in the lead, but a new name in second is going to be Reese Schaefer. Johan Seminario there in third.
And Ed Shearer there in fourth. Kind of the top four guys just shuffled up a little bit after those pit stops. So Johan pitting, kind of short pitting the other guys, at least gained him one position as he sits just about a second back from Schaefer right now. But it is just the all Adrian Schumacher show right now. 22 laps to go.
Well, Brian McAvoy here in fifth after his pit stops. Got Lane Hostler just behind him. We've seen Lane have his set of troubles here tonight, but battling here for a top 5 position after starting the night in 8th. Lane looking to pick up his 3rd spot here and come away with some big-time points here for that 61. This is the best battle out here on the track.
And a good battle it is. He's putting a lot of pressure now. Going to look maybe the inside going into 1. Thinks better of it. He's going to follow him through 1, down this hard left into a short little straightaway here. Back over to the right. Kind of lost a little bit of momentum and speed through that corner. Closes the gap right up on corner number 2 into, like you said, the fastest portion of this track. Kind of staying back a little bit here, not putting a lot of heat on this.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I think just other drivers better than others in certain parts of the track, and I think we're going to see the 61 really catch up here to the 79 now. As you see, just Adrian Schumacher there on the left really putting down some significantly quicker lap times than just about the rest of the field. But this is the portion of the track where the 61 kind of better than the 79. See if he can make a pass here on this lap.
So let's see. Schumacher just put down a 1:27.26. Yeah, that's about what he qualified at. So Schumacher right now putting qualifying laps down on the field. That's impressive. As these guys racing here in this spot coming to lap traffic, just gonna slide out of the way. And you're right, you kind of sense, sometimes what corners you're faster or what sections you might be faster than another driver. You just gotta kind of get through the other sections and hope you don't lose any time, and then attack in the sections that you feel that you're the fastest in. And you're absolutely right. The first section of the course, it seems like McAvoy is faster. And then as we get through another section, it seems like Hosler's a little faster.
Yeah, you got Mike Mosby in the background back there. He's a few laps down actually, in 18th position. And there you see, not many drivers on the lead lap. These two, they're at the back of the lead lap and currently in danger of falling 1 lap down. Still got a little bit of distance there as you see the 82. He's got a few turns to go before he catches up to them, but there's a real possibility that Schumacher is going to leave a very few cars out there on the same lap with times he is currently turning there, getting by Emerson Ardon right there for the 79 and the 61. Seeing Alonzo King bringing that 80 machine down pit road here. Might be trying that 2-stop strategy.
Yeah, you got to do something, right? You're running a lot. So and then we got a car stuck sideways at the end of pit road there.
Yeah, that's the 44 Ballesteros. He's also on pit road. So seeing a few of these guys, I think he was trying to get on pit road. A few of these guys opted to do that 2-stop strategy. And just look, you don't even see pit stalls. Excuse me. They're having to kind of guess where the box is. So probably seeing a few mistakes. You see there, just behind Alonzo King, who we saw having trouble finding a spot. So,
overshot the box.
Yeah, I think this is something that a lot of these guys are also struggling with out here.
And we may see some of these guys may have been guys that kind of had early issues and kind of towed and came in, as we see more cars now pulling on.
Yeah, so that's our leader, Adrian Schumacher, coming down pit road.
Yeah, that's what it took me for a second. I was like, wait a minute, is that Schumacher coming in? So he went only out for a few laps. Schumacher with a meatball.
Yeah.
What happened to Schumacher? Holy cow, this is going to change this is going to shuffle up the whole deck. And I guarantee this whole field just got a little excited as that radios, I'm sure, are flying with the news that Schumacher is in the pit with a meatball.
Yeah, for those that don't know, the meatball is kind of when you have damage to your engine, kind of putting fluids down, I would kind of perceive it. It's essentially a black flag. So Schumacher coming down to get repairs. Not sure what it is, because that car was still running very fast lap times. I'm going to be very intrigued to know.
He must have got into a wall, broke some steering
coursers.
suspension.
Oh.
Yeah, now the meatball is usually it's for extensive damage that they don't want you on the track for, thinking you're going to be too slow and out of the way. So where in the world did this happen, and how hard did he hit?
32 seconds in a stall too, so it wasn't
a 32-second meatball. That's got to be the shortest version I've ever heard of. Now, I've only been on the sim for a couple of years, but that usually that's at least a couple minutes stop.
Well, this is going to make things interesting here. Reese Schaefer now out in front of this thing by 24 seconds. Reese has yet to get a win here in the last 2 seasons. Has been on a very significant winless streak. He got the win at the duels here, but has yet to get a points-paying win, and staring down the possibility of coming away with one here tonight. But Schumacher is that guy who can possibly run down a 24-second gap here. So I think this has made this race very interesting. Reese Schaefer is going to really have to nail these next couple laps.
And if you're Reese Schaefer, I mean, how often are you possibly talking to your teammates? You've got a spotter. Are you the type of guy, Greg? Do you want to know the splits, or do you not want to know the splits? Right?
I do not want to know the splits.
No, I think I'm the same. I don't think I want to. Don't tell me. I'm just gonna drive this thing as best I can, and when he shows up in the rearview mirror, he shows up. But if you start counting that clock down, I think I'm just gonna choke a little bit and just keep going. But
you're going to get in your head too, wondering where you're giving up time, and ultimately probably going to overshoot something. So he probably wants nobody telling him anything, what's going on. Not even looking at his relative down there in the corner, I bet. Just trying to do the best laps that he can and let everything work out if possible. So,
and that's the tough thing about any road course, not just a street course like here. You always hear slow in, fast out, and that's some of the hardest things for I know for myself, like that off throttle time. You just feel so slow, especially doing 140, bogging these things down to 40, 50 miles an hour. Just that off throttle time, and just the patience to stay off the throttle, but knowing that you've got a guy probably driving with his hair on fire right now, and Adrian Schumacher trying to cut this lap time down. He's got 17 laps to cut off 23 seconds. I think he took a second off that last lap, but that's not going to be fast enough at this pace.
Yeah, trying to pull up the lap times here of the last couple of laps just to see what we got. Still waiting on Schumacher to finish lap 33 here. There he goes. Made up 4/10 of a second that last lap, but he's going to need to be making up a little bit more. He's going to have to hit over a second gained per lap. And I mean, Reese has been running pretty good lap times. Low 128s is very solid, and that might just be enough to hold off the 127s, the high 127s that we saw Schumacher running a few laps ago.
Yeah, at this pace, he's just not going to get there. And I don't know where you can really, gain that much. I mean, these guys are at some of the fastest times that we've seen, either qualifying or race pace. So it's not like Schumacher's damage has slowed him down tremendously. He's got a little bit of damage, running a little bit slower pace than he was previously. But it's not like he's trying to catch a guy that was running, fifth or sixth the whole time. He's kind of catching the guy that's been able to keep the best pace with him. So it's going to be real tough on Schumacher.
He's chipped off quite a bit this lap. There you see on the track map, I got just the two of them isolated in there. That is the distance that separates the 17 to the 82 with 16 to go. You got to think, you're feeling good, but Reese knows all too well he's raced with Adrian for far too long. He knows that the 82 is going to be coming here, so this is going to be an exciting finish here.
The other thing to think about, too, is at what point on this countdown that we're talking about is Schumacher able to put this thing in the rearview mirror, Schaefer, and say, it's just you and me. When does he start seeing it's almost like a draft at Talladega, right? Once you get to within a certain distance behind, that draft's going to pull you up. I imagine if this starts getting cut too close, when does the pressure start building on Schaefer?
Well, we will keep an eye on that battle. But right now, these two still nose to tail. The 79-61 really battling hard for this 5th position. McAvoy, though, able to hold on up to this point.
Yeah, very impressive by McAvoy to keep his cool. I mean, Hosler is just giving him everything he can, lap after lap after lap, just sticking right with him, waiting for him to make a mistake. Kind of a little bump off the wall there. I don't think nothing too major to slow him down, especially given that this is going in the faster section of the course. Thought maybe he might lose the momentum on that speed there, but seems to be able to keep the same distance, roll through the corner really well, not really giving Hosler a lot of play with or a place to make a move.
Well, checking in on Seminario here, he was right on the bumper of the 45 before, I think, being involved in an incident right here. Let's go ahead and check it out.
It looks like he's lost 5 seconds to the leader, so yeah, there was an issue here with Johan.
It's one of the higher speeds, locks it up. We've seen this same issue all night.
Same issues coming up to slower traffic there. It almost looked like he was debating on whether or not to try to make a move going into that corner. Thought better of it, but at that point it was too late and just kind of locked him up into that same treacherous corner that we've seen all night. It seems like turn 1 and that turn there that we just saw Johan lock him up seems to be the most problematic spots on the course.
So now 15 to go. 79-61 taking a stripe to go. 15 to go as well. These two putting on a heck of a show, battling still for that 5th position. Lane just trying to figure out where he can get by the 79, but McAvoy not showing any weakness out there whatsoever. Ballesteros, that was Ballesteros before he reset to the pits. I think his night going to be done. Have had a tough night in the 44 machine.
Yeah, a lot of guys with a tough night. I'm sure a lot of guys are ready to get here out of Chicago. But so this is the 17 we've got here. Schaefer still running smooth. Got some lap traffic in his way, but everybody's pretty much played nice today. Although that's scary.
Saw right in front of him.
Yeah, that's scary. Being the leader and all of a sudden see white smoke going up because you know the guy in front of you locked him up and don't know where he's going. Wow, some scary moments, and that cost him. That cost him about a half a second there, right off immediately as he had to slow down for Bissau, who locked him up in front of him.
Yeah, so over the last 4 laps where we saw Schumacher have to come in, he has chipped away each lap. Got a second and a half on lap 35 and another 3/4 of a second there on lap 36. That lead down to under 19 and a half seconds. I don't know if he's going to have the time, but he's going to get pretty darn close.
He's going to get real close. It's a matter of when he cuts it to a second per lap, right? Because he's steadily knocking it down. I just don't know that he's going to get there, but here we go with more lap traffic for Schaefer.
Yeah.
And right now Schumacher appears to have pretty much clean sailing in front of him. So you know he's pushing it for everything he's got. Schaefer driving hard, driving smooth.
He's making it look real easy out there, kind of like a Sunday drive. The control he has, just look at that car bouncing. It is going to be a sight to see actual NASCAR-sanctioned stock cars racing on the streets of Chicago, because I know we have some bumpy circuits on the track, on the circuit as it is, but I don't think we're going to have anything comparable to quite this. We're going to see how these 7th gen cars really handle out here.
I mean, that's what they're kind of designed to do, right? They're totally redesigned, new technology, new shocks, new suspension. The question is, are they a street racer, or a street racer capable?
Yeah, and I know not a lot of people are a big fan of it, but still, it could really open up the avenue for a lot of new events across the board. I mean, heck, you've seen the NASCAR Euro Series even say they're going to race on ice next year in Finland. It's kind of wild to see how much this sport has grown, and right here in the United States, it's going to be something different next year, and I think it's going to be a sight to see. So, yeah, definitely going to go ahead and possibly check that out. Maybe we should make an SRN thing out of it next year.
Absolutely. For the NASCAR purist, I'm sure there's some of them out there that are, just want to stick to ovals, want to stick to that, but as you can see, even here in the SRN series, it takes a different skill So it then makes the entire circuit, the entire season, a true drivers' championship of who possesses a variety of different skills to win the championship, which I kind of like. Challenge these drivers on multiple circuits.
Yeah, I agree.
Multiple disciplines.
I've loved all the additions that they've made with road courses in real life, and especially different ones for the Truck Series as well as the Xfinity Series going out to Portland this year, and kind of leveling the table. I feel because you don't really have a notebook for any of these tracks. I love all the new circuits. And I love the changes, and I'm thoroughly excited. I'm gonna be trying to get my tickets to North Wilkesboro All-Star Race. I think those are on sale at the end of the week here this week, so I'm going to try get my hands on a couple of those. It's just real exciting things to come for NASCAR as well.
I was looking at those as well for North Wilkesboro, but I think they went on sale to some of the local community, and then I think I heard on the Dale Jr. download some 80,000 person wait list already.
Well, I'm going to try my odds at that. I'm going to try my odds at the $1.2 billion jackpot with Powerball as well. Get lucky every now and then.
That could probably make it a lot easier to tickets to the Wilkesboro race, I would imagine. As Johan, now we're starting to see, it was 7/10. Now we're starting to see almost 2 seconds coming off. But he's still kind of that, if you look into that laps to go and time differential, he's still sitting there with almost a 5-second difference. Getting the 41 out of the way so he can get moving.
Yeah, he didn't really waste much time with the 41 of Matthew Dula there, so he is trying to make up any ground that he can, but still looking good. We'll see. I don't know if he made up much time with this lap with all the lap traffic that he had to deal with there, so that set him back a little bit. We'll see right here.
Yeah, he caught him in that section I was talking about. Real narrow, real tight, didn't have anywhere to go, and it cost him 7/10.
Yeah, so not only did it cost them time, it cost them a whole lap as well. So now down to 11 to go. I'm going to go ahead and say this might be a safe bet here for Reese Schaefer as the laps are ticking off for the 82 machine.
From what we've seen today, I don't think anything is a safe bet. We've seen these guys easily overshoot a corner, easily wheel hop, slower traffic in front making mistakes. And fortunately for Schaefer, he's been far enough back from some of these mistakes that he hasn't been wrapped up into it. But I guarantee you, all he's thinking every time he gets around somebody, he's just, thinking, I can't get wrecked, scratch, breathe on wrong. It's going to be bad.
So third place right here. Ed Shearer still hanging on to that position. You saw Seminario get into trouble, lost a little bit of time to the 45, but it's caught right back up to the Modern Warfare 2 sponsored number 45 Toyota Camry right here. So Seminario looking to get on that podium here tonight.
Even with that big mistake that he had, right back in the position I thought he'd be earlier in the race, fighting for a podium finish. Kind of impressive to see him kind of fall back, fight his way back, with now 10 laps to go for a podium finish.
10 to go, like you said. The laps just wandering off here into the sunset out here at Chicago. These two nose to tail, the best battle on the track, coming back to the start-finish line here.
It's kind of interesting to think about 10 laps, only 120 turns.
Yeah, we don't think about it like that.
No, yeah, it's just mind-boggling when you think about it that way.
So a few drivers on pit road. Brandon Domain, Rob Beasall, Drew Ballesteros, all still on pit road. Ballesteros has been on pit road for about 7 minutes so far. Beasall been on pit road for about 5.5 minutes, so some lengthy pit stops here. I think that's all the damage as we see Blair Holloman stopped right here.
Wow, and he's sort of bad, able to get it corrected and get going. Fortunately, didn't have any of those leaders or other traffic behind him. Look at some of those brake rotors. Look how hard these guys are getting in the brakes. You don't see them glow like that usually until night races.
Yeah, so this is coming back to turn number 12 here, right in front of our broadcast booth. And you're exactly right. Just going to lock him up. And drive straight into the wall, right by our camera guy here. Got to be careful.
That's a scary moment for our camera guy. Again, there's a great shot here, though. But you saw that thing just did not want to turn. Just shot dead straight, and you're just along for the ride at that point.
So So he's going to get it headed back in that right direction. Trying to get a top 10 here, but not sure if he's going to be able to. Timothy Latham's got about a 9-second gap in front of him here. So Holloman currently riding in the 11th position. So back out front, though, Reese Schaefer still with a healthy lead, down to 15.5 seconds here. I think the best case scenario for Adrian Schumacher is for the 17 to come across some lap traffic there. But you see on the track map, really not much to worry about here. He might be able to ride out these 9 laps with not much trouble.
Yeah, he's only got 2 cars really that he can catch in front of him, 6th and 5th place cars who were doing some battling, so they might slow it back up to him a little bit. But if you're watching that relative, you know you've got a big gap, I'd probably be very content just to hang back, stay out of any potential mess. Oh, that's a scary sign too, kind of blinking there a little bit.
Yeah, luckily he doesn't have too many people he can interfere with, but that would be devastating for the 17 who's tried so hard. He's going to bring it down pit road here, though.
So is he thinking he couldn't make it to the end on fuel?
Yeah.
Is this going to be just a quick splash and go?
I think it has to be. We'll find out here. He's going to pull into his stall here. Like I said, we've seen a lot of people struggle with this. We'll see if he nails it.
Schumacher. And Schumacher is just taking the lead. Wow, interesting. That's got it. Yeah, they look like a splash and go. I didn't see
8.5 seconds.
Yeah, I didn't see the car go up, so he misjudged the fuel window.
I think that's just a lot of these guys. I don't think they can make it running as hard as they are here in a race setting. So
I don't think they didn't take into account having all of the clean track and running as hard as they were versus maybe some practice time with teammates running a little bit slower laps. So is that meatball then going to be almost a blessing in disguise for Schumacher that he was forced to go into the pits?
Yeah, it depends. It depends on if he added tires and fuel or not. That's one thing that we don't have the ability to check, but
so Schaefer's going to come out. Yeah. So
Spoiled
Schaefer's going to come out. Yeah. Schaefer's going to come out. We know he didn't take tires, so he's still on older tires, 10 seconds back, and now falling from Schumacher. And Schumacher's got to be just thinking, what in the world? I actually got the lead back. This has got to be a pretty good feeling for him. Oh, and is that? Johan.
It's Johan once again. So like we keep mentioning, you got to be careful to not get to that incident limit. Johan with a good run here tonight. Needs to just come away with the points here if possible.
And he's got a lot of damage. Look at that thing laboring. That right rear, it almost looks like the right rear is locked up on him.
Same spot here again where we seem to have trouble before.
Pushing it hard, trying to get to the back bumper and doesn't do. Oh, hard hit. The damage was to the right rear. It's actually to the whole front there. And he is just laboring that thing around. Now, look, that thing does not even want to steer straight. I think that steering's going to be way out of whack. So how long is that damage repair going to be? As you can see, he can't even steer it straight to get to his pit stall very well. Oh, that's got to be frustrating to know that you're sitting there with a top 5 finish, and now you have no clue how long this damage counter is going to be until you get in there.
And here comes Lane Hostler to take that P number 4. Brian McAvoy going to come on by too to retake P number 5. So it was looking like a good night for Johan. Could be a little bit of a worse night than he anticipated. And at the end of the season, every point matters. I cannot stress that enough. So we will keep that in the back of our minds and see if that comes back to bite the 12 here. So we'll see where he comes back out on the track. But Lane Hostler here currently up to P number 4. It's going to be tough for him to get up here to a podium. He's got Ed Shearer next in line, but Ed's 23 seconds ahead.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough gap to make in 7 laps. He's got to hope for a big mistake from Ed as this field really starting to spread out now. We see a couple cars jumbled up in the middle there of the pack, but for the most part, it's really spread out. And we've got another one slow on the track.
Yeah, this is the 12 of Johan again.
Still the 12 of Johan as he just came back out off of pit road.
He's currently 97 and a lap down now.
Yeah, I mean, he just wasn't up to speed there coming off the pits. That's why it looks so slow. Although there's so much damage on that vehicle, you can see he is just laboring this thing around, trying to just hold on to your life at this point.
Yeah, he spent 32 seconds there on pit road, so didn't get too much damage fixed here, but
So
yeah.
there's probably 32 seconds of required, and it didn't pick up any of the optional repair. You can still see the front damage there, and that right front locking up and smacking the wall yet again. So now now you wonder how many incident points he has. Is Johan whipping this thing now up to a 12-second lead with 6 to go.
Yeah, so running out of laps here for Reese Schaefer to potentially
Shut it
catch
down.
on up here. Yeah,
Shut it
did it
down.
happen again?
Yep, shut it down.
I don't know what it could be.
I don't have a clue.
Only logos that we're running are...
The only other thing that I could possibly think of, and this is way completely off the wall.
Is it still named that for the stream though?
No.
No, race part 2.
I wonder if it's because we've already burned. If we did it once, they're going to just shut it down.
I don't know, man.
Whatever, it's boring as fucking...
Can we call YouTube tomorrow?
I feel like it's boring from... I just don't know what the hell to say.